There's a quiet intensity in being the only child, a life lived in the middle of adult attention, expectations, and the subtle pressures of a family that focuses entirely on one. Some see it as a privilege, others as a burden. Psychology tells us it's more complex than clichés. Being the only child shapes not just personality, but the way one experiences the world. This is the psychology of the only child, not the jokes, not the stereotypes, but the truths that lie beneath. Imagine a young child, alone in their household. Every question, every achievement, every mistake observed without a sibling to share it with. No rival, no companion, no one to mirror their experiences. This concentrated attention often nurtures intelligence, curiosity, and creativity. Only children tend to develop verbal skills early. They explore ideas deeply, and they cultivate a rich inner world. Yet, this focus can also feel heavy. Isolation is subtle but present. The world of peers is learned rather than inherited. Playdates replace sibling rivalry. Friendships must be consciously built. Independence is gained, but so is a quiet pressure, the weight of being the single focal point of parental hopes. Independence is perhaps the most pronounced trait. Only children learn to entertain themselves, to manage boredom, to create worlds from imagination alone. Research shows they excel in self-directed tasks. They can read, write, and solve problems without supervision. They develop emotional resilience differently, solving difficulties internally before seeking help. But self-reliance has its price. Without siblings to challenge or negotiate with, social skills are learned deliberately rather than intuitively. Collaboration, compromise, patience, they are lessons, not defaults. The emotional world of the only child is vivid. Attention magnifies every feeling. Praise becomes profound, criticism burdensome. They learn to read adults, anticipate moods, navigate emotional landscapes with care. But relationships with peers can feel complex. Without daily sibling interaction, the skills to manage conflict or share attention must be consciously developed. Friendships may take time to grow, but when they do, they are often deep and enduring. Solitude also breeds imagination. Only children often spend hours crafting stories, exploring imaginary worlds, inventing games. Psychology notes that this solitude sparks originality. They become accustomed to their own company, discovering inner worlds invisible to others. Later in life, this manifests as unique perspectives, creative thinking, and unconventional approaches to challenges. The world is seen through a lens shaped by reflection and introspection. Yet life outside the home brings its own challenges. Social skills must be actively learned. Collaboration, compromise, and empathy are developed through experience rather than instinct. Still, many only children become socially adept adults, forming friendships that are deliberate, loyal, and emotionally rich. Cautious at first, they invest deeply once trust is established. Perfectionism is another subtle trait. Undivided attention often magnifies the pressure to succeed. Mistakes feel larger, and expectations heavier. Some research suggests only children internalize expectations more than those with siblings. This drives achievement, but can also create anxiety. Emotional intensity and self-reflection push them toward exacting standards. But this pressure is double-edged. It fosters focus, diligence, and a strong sense of responsibility. Only children often excel academically, professionally, and creatively, guided by internal motivation and the desire to fulfill both personal and familial expectations. Relationships hold profound significance. Only children tend to value chosen connections deeply. Friendships, romantic relationships, even extended family ties are nurtured deliberately. There is an acute awareness of impermanence. Companionship is not assumed, it is earned and maintained. This awareness can create rich, enduring bonds, balancing independence with a deep longing for intimacy. Culture often exaggerates extremes. The spoiled only child, the lonely only child, the overachiever, Yet psychology reminds us that personality is nuanced. Being an only child is not destiny. Environment, parenting, temperament, and experience shape the individual. Solitude can nurture wisdom, creativity, and resilience, or sometimes insecurity, perfectionism, and social caution. The only child is not a stereotype. They are a person, shaped by circumstance, but not defined by it. The psychology of the only child is a story of focus, intensity, and individuality. A story of navigating life with concentrated attention, cultivating creativity and introspection, and building relationships that are deeply valued. Perhaps in understanding the only child, we glimpse something universal: the delicate balance between solitude and connection, independence and intimacy, reflection and engagement. Because ultimately, we are all navigating our inner worlds, learning to relate, to belong, and to find meaning in the spaces between. Being the only child is a lens, a way of seeing life with depth, sensitivity, and care. And in that lens, we see the essence of what it means to be human.